أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم الله يستهزئ بهم ويمدهم في طغيانهم يعمهون. Allah mocks them and prolongs them in their transgression. They wander blindly. Ayah number 15, Surah Al-Baqarah. In the previous ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exposes their reality, where when they meet the Muslims, they say they believe, but their true allegiance, their true alliance is with the evil. When they go back to them, they give them comfort, they give them solace, and they emphasize their word that yes, indeed we are with you, we are only there to mock. So you're not there seriously. So this was the previous ayah. Now in here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs us another sign of these criminals, these munafiqeen, that they are in tughyan, they are rebellious, they are in transgression. Now, to understand this ayah, first of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His name has come right at the beginning. Allahu yastahzi'u, that Allah will mock them. So this is the zajr, this is the reprimand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with emphasis. So basically Allah saying, leave these criminals to me, leave these vicious people to me, I will deal with them directly. So this is in that kind of statement. This is one. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in various different places in the Quran as they come, and as we all know in our own understanding, that the way you act, similarly the consequence will be responding in kind. So in that same fashion, the way they were doing actions, the way they were doing crimes, similarly they will be responded in same fashion. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجَزَاءُ سَيِّئَةٍ سَيِّئَةٍ مِثْلِهَا, and their retribution for an evil act is an evil one like it. So it's similar response. Now the ulama have changed the meaning of it, that this means the saza, this means the punishment, that this the mock of Allah is the punishment, it is not the real mocking. But like how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is unique, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no one like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, similarly we don't know how it's going to be. So this is the better opinion that we're going to take, that the istihza of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like how it is. But there are some instances in the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showcase this reality, like it comes in Surah Hadid, it is Surah Hadid, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَوْمَ يَقُولُ الْمُنَافِقُونَ وَالْمُنَافِقَاتُ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا انظُرُونَا نَقْتَبِسْ مِنْ نُورِكُمْ قِيلَ ارْجِعُوا وَرَاءَكُمْ فَالْتَمِسُوا نُورًا فَضُرِبَ بَيْنَهُمْ بِسُورٍ لَهُ بَابٌ بَاطِنُهُ فِي الرَّحْمِ وَظَاهِرُهُ مِنْ قِبَلِهِ الْعَذَابُ. To read this meaning, these munafiqun, they would call to the Muslims, to need this meaning, and they will be like they would want the light of the mu'minun. So they will be like a barrier that will be put between these mu'minun and the munafiqun. So they will be like saying, well, won't you, from you, that they will be saying this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Muslim will respond to them, قِيلَ ارْجِعُوا وَرَاءَكُمْ فَالْتَمِسُوا, go back and find your light. We're not going to give you any light, basically. You find your own light, go back. Of course they cannot go back, but this is their mockery. And there was like a barrier will be there, and the door will be blocked. They will be in the punishment, and the mu'minun will be in the pious, in the riches, in the goodnesses. Same thing comes in Surah Munafiqun, Surah Mutaffifin, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَالْيَوْمَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنَ الْكُفَّارِ يَضْحَكُونَ. On that day, this is where the mu'minun, the pious, will be laughing. They will be rejoicing, looking at these criminals. So the same thing can come as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. But how it's going to be in reality, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Situation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned is like, how is this mock of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And Allah actually answered this in the Quran itself, in the same ayah. فِي طُغْيَانِهِمْ يَعْمَهُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let them in their rebelliousness. Allah let them be in their transgression. Like, do whatever you need to do more, carry on, whatever you need to do it. Yeah, this is like, so you can understand. Like a child who is in the class and tapping on the bench, the teacher lets him, and then he starts moving around as well, no concentrating, looking at the ceiling and things like that and so on. Then he starts hitting another kid with his hands like this, and he continues till he's on the phone and he's jumping like a monkey. So at the beginning, where he was just tapping, the response of a teacher like calm down, stop. This is going to be the response of a teacher. But when he is jumping around in the class and maybe punching and hitting people, this response is going to be different. He might be kicked out from the entire institute. So this is the same situation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lets them, so the punishment and the consequence is going to be great. And the ulama gives another example. Yeah, they say, take example of a rebellious dog, and you put them in a big leash, like 100 meters or something, and put, like, for example, the dog is here, tied to something like to here, and the dog going to be thinking that he is being now free. He will run, he will speed, he will increase his speed again and again and again till it's like 99 meters and his speed will be like 100%. And when the leash comes to an end, it's going to be a sudden jump. The guy will be flicking on his head. So same situation. Allah let these criminals do whatever they need to do, but when they are grabbed, the whole of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is severe, as it comes in the various places. إِنَّ بَطْشَ رَبِّكَ لَشَدِيدٌ. So this was with regards to that. Now, how the transgression is being increased, how the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increased on these people. At that time, when Quran was reviewed, the more ayats, the more ahkam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were opened on these criminals, these munafiqun. And they rejected more and more and more. So the transgression and the consequences of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase on them. How is it applied to us? How do we understand this? Now, when Sharia is explained to us, when Quran is presented to us, that these, like, we learn so many signs of the munafiqun so far. Yeah, I don't like 14 of them or so. We learn those signs. We learn the sign of the kuffar as well that I came at the beginning, their pride and their ego. We learn about all those things. And if you have them and we don't remove them, this is now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has let us in our transgression, in our the crimes that we have, and we still don't want to remove it. Allah has opened, Allah has clarified to us, but we still don't do it. Then this is in the similar fashion. This is with regards to that. The ulama say, and they link it to the beginning, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ختم الله على قلوبهم, on the kuffar, that Allah has put a seal on their heart. Now in here it says يعمهون, they wander blindly in their transgression. What is this ya'mahun? They say this is the blindness of the heart as well. It's not ama, which is with ayn mim ya, but it is with ayn mim ha. So this relates to the blindness of the heart. So there, the kuffar, there was a seal on their heart. Now munafiqun in here, they have blindness in their heart. So one is the basara and the other one is basira. So they have lost the basira. And there everything was lost. So this was done. Now, we did say how it's applicable to us when the Quran is presented to us, when the ayat of Allah is presented to us, and we don't listen to it. Then this is the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala left us in this transgression. But how does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the istihza of Allah going to be on us if you don't take it on? Yeah, what is going to be? So let's understand this. In this dunya, people are given lots of riches. They are given lots. Yeah, while they are living in haram, mortgage houses and so on, doing haram, taking the rights of the people, whether this is not giving the right of like the dowry, the mahar, or the inheritance of whoever they are. This business model is on haram, where they're taking banks from loan from the banks, deception and so on. At the same time, these might be those people who might be standing in the first saf, yeah, praying 5 times a day. They might be the same people who go to umrahs lots again and again, so people can say mashallah. They might be those people who send money to the special village of their house, so everyone knows him in their own country that this guy is mashallah guy. They might be doing all these actions. Yeah, but may Allah forbid, it might be that situation that everything on Day of Judgment will be multiplied with a zero. So all these efforts, all these things that people have done in this dunya, it will be all gone. So this will be the istihza. This will be the mockery of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on these people. So you need to be very cautious the way we live our life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not accept any impurity. Take an example, yeah? There's a big pot of milk, and you put few drops of urine in it. Would you like to drink it? No. Yeah, same thing, nice big lolly or sweets, whatever they are, but if there's pork gelatin in it, little bit of it, that's it, you're not going to eat it. It's gone. It does not have any value. Similarly, when we do actions, Allah does not accept some part of you being a Muslim and another part not. Yeah, it's totally, either you are a Muslim or you're not. Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu dukhulu fi silmi kaffa. You got to enter to Islam totally. You cannot have moving around. You can't do that. You got to be either a Muslim or non-Muslim, whatever you need to do. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts purity. Ya ayyuhan nasu ubudu rabbakum. Total. You cannot be little bit up and down. So this is what's been happening. Because this is going to become a mockery of us on Day of Judgment. May Allah safeguard us from that time, and may Allah make us those people who are sincere and who are true to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahu a'lam.